Greetings, everybody, and welcome to the final Blu-ray on the Phase 4 MCU series review here on the Media Files. So, with this movie, nobody really had any idea where the story was going to go, what would happen, because unfortunately, before this movie was even shot, um, actor Chadwick Boseman passed away due to his battle with cancer. And so, and it's unfortunate that that it happened because he left. He was only in like four movies, but he left a lasting legacy that all of us Marvel fans will always remember. Wakanda Forever. May he ever rest in peace. It sucks that somebody who's so good, life takes away for no reason at all, because cancer obviously sucks, and we have cures for all these other diseases. Why can't we find one for that yet? He didn't have that much. He had a little bit of a filmography going, but he'll always be remembered as the Black Panther. So, where would they go with the story? Well, they used some of the elements. They kept a little bit of it, but this movie is literally basically a mourning movie. It's literally what it is. It's all the characters literally mourning the loss of their king, and I am talking about Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. So yeah, so where would they go with the story? Who would portray the Black Panther? Well, if you read the comics, you know who takes over the mantle. They tease it in the trailers, and basically his sister Shuri takes over the mantle. Yes, that's the only spoiler I'll give, because obviously you can tell by the way the costume and the way the helmet is. But yeah. So, but this movie, oh boy, it was long. I did not get to see this in theaters. I really wanted to, but I unfortunately had other things going on at the time, or I was too busy dealing with other things, or too tired from work. So I'm like, you know what? I'll just wait till Disney Plus gets it. It goes on Disney Plus. I get within 5 minutes of watching it. Rotating ball of pure hell that is called the internet. Yeah, this movie had had all of Disney Plus's. It was so backed up, I could only watch the first 5 minutes of it. But everything else on there worked just fine. There was so much traffic watching this movie, I couldn't even watch it. So I'm like, you know what? I'll wait. I'll give it a couple days, and maybe traffic will eventually die down. Well, it still did the same damn thing, and I'm like, you know what? Let me just go to Disc Replay and see if somebody bought it, and sold it there. They did. I found it. So I watched the Blu-ray at home, and wow, probably their second longest movie ever. It's almost 3 hours, not quite as long as Endgame, but it is long. And so, but yeah, but I mean, God, this movie, it was good. But like I said, this movie it's more of a mourning movie. You see a lot of crying in this movie, big time. But they actually introduced a new villain to the MCU. Yeah. But he can be a villain, sometimes he can be a good guy. It just kind of depends on his mood, I guess. Yeah. So we have it's kind of hard to tell, but we actually we have Submariner, or known as Namor. Yeah. That's actually a better shot of it there. So, but yeah, I mean, but this movie though, it was so good, and not only that though, Ryan Coogler comes back as the writer and the director. Yeah, he was nominated for the first Black Panther for the best director, and so was the first movie, which would have been awesome if it had won Hollywood. So yeah, so now the score this time was done by no, actually it's returning to do for the first one. Ludwig Göransson returns to do the score for this. Kind of similar to Black Panther, but very obviously very, very different. And this unfortunately would keep him away from doing season 3 of The Mandalorian, but he's worked with another collaborator who actually collaborated with him on the other 2 seasons, so it's covered. So, yeah. So, I mean, this movie was so good, but it was very, very long. It felt like I was watching, at times, a Stanley Kubrick movie as when it comes to, the slow scenes, because you know how Kubrick can be a lot. Yes, I'm not trying to compare Ryan Coogler to Kubrick because obviously there's no comparison, but I'm talking about as far as time length goes. So yeah, um, what can I say? You got your little flyers in here for stuff, and as usual, Disney does their usual blue disc crap as always, because you know it makes a lot of money at the box office, but we can't really afford to put, you know, disc art on there because we want to make sure it's all blue because it's Blu-ray. Whatever. So yeah, so with this movie, so let's go through the bonus features here. So we have envisioning two worlds, see how different cultures, landscapes, and Mayan history unite the creation of the underworld realm and Wakanda. Yeah, that's what I forgot to mention. They explore Mayan culture, which is more known as like a Hispanic type of culture from today's standards. But yes, I know Hispanic culture is completely different from Mayan. That's not the point. I'm just saying that we see something that we haven't really seen in a Marvel movie at all, and it's really kind of dealing with other cultures besides an African culture, which is just kind of interesting. Passing the mantle, follow Shiri, Ramonda, and Riri's journeys to explore what legacy ultimately means in Wakanda. As also, we have the gag reel and the deleted scenes, and we also have commentary by Ryan Coogler, Joe Robert Cole, and Autumn Dorald Arkapow discuss the film. I'm guessing producers or whatever, but so yeah, or they could actually. I think they're actually some of the actors in the movie. I can't remember, but like I said, I've only seen this once, so I'm not really quite that familiar with it. But once I watch it more and more and more, I'll pick up on names and who's who and whatnot. But now here's the downfall with this Blu-ray. This Blu-ray came out just after about a month or two after it was released on Disney Plus. The hour-long documentary that is on Disney Plus is not on this disc. Why? It was produced long beforehand. You've literally had hour-long documentaries on every single MCU. Why not this one? Why? I'll never understand. Disney, you make a buttload of money. You could have put that on here easily, but no. Unless you had processed it, and got it all prepped and mastered and everything before, the documentary was finished, unless it's a Disney Plus exclusive, why isn't that on here? Yeah, that's my only beef with this Blu-ray. So, yeah. Anyways, so as I mentioned, that's the last one that I have on Blu-ray. Now, one more film has been released since. Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania. That is the third Ant-Man film. I have not seen it yet, and at the time of this recording, the Blu-ray is not out yet. Because as of today, during this recording, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 has been released to theaters. So far, with an 80% on Rotten Tomatoes and yada yada yada. I don't really care for Rotten Tomatoes because I think it's kind of stupid. But, that's the world we live in today. That's just my opinion. So, yeah. I'm not going to let a website let me know if it's going to be a good movie or a bad movie. I'll be the judge of that on my own. So I believe Quantumania comes out, I think in June, I believe. Maybe, or it might be towards the end of this month, which is May. I'll have to look it up, whatnot. But once it gets to Disney Plus, though, I'll probably watch it. It looks good. But, I heard it's kind of so-so. especially with what happened to one of the actors in that movie. I'm sure everybody knows by now who I'm talking about, if you know who that actor is who played that character. So yeah, with that, I will see you in the next MCU review. So long.